Welcome to the One Star Weak Foot Show, your one-stop shop for player reviews, starring your host, One Star Weak Foot, and our review specialist, One Star Weak Foot. Good afternoon, and welcome to the One Star Weak Foot Show, your one-stop shop for player reviews. I'm going to be your host today, One Star Weak Foot, and it makes me feel so joyous and happy inside to see you guys back on the channel, back for another video. And today you guys are getting two for the price of one, two icon swap reviews, and they're both gonna be Dutchies. First we're gonna review this 88 rated Ronald Koeman, and when you look at this card, he looks like a very well-rounded card. All right, he's 5'11". He has high medium work rates, which may not be ideal for the positions you may want to play him in, so keep that in mind. He's a 3-star combination. I played 5 games in division rivals with him. I got 1 goal and 0 assists. Before we go any further, if you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit me with a like, and if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel, man. I appreciate all you guys at home for watching this channel. Lots of respect to you guys. So yeah, let's look at this card a little bit closer. When you think Ronald Koeman, or when you're bringing him into your side, what really stands out? All right, the number one thing that stands out about this card is the fact that he could be played as a CDM or even as a CM with these attacking stats. I mean, 86 shooting on the center back is unheard of. 86 passing, once again, on the center back is unheard of. His dribbling stats look really decent as well. His agility and balance don't look like anything to write home about. But I mean, when you compare him to other center backs, it's really in a class of its own. His defending stats are very nice. I mean, 89 stand tackling, 89 interceptions look like the standout stats here. And physically, he doesn't look like a slouch. I mean, 83 strength, 85 aggression, 86 jumping do look decent. You may want to pair him with somebody bigger because he's 5'11" and his physical stats aren't amazing. So that's my thoughts on the Koeman card so far. Next, we're going to move on to the other icon swap Dutch player we're going to be reviewing. It's going to be this 85 rated Seedorf, all right? And when you look at this card, he looks like a really good box-to-box midfielder, a really good CDM, and if you're really ambitious, maybe you can, all right? So when you look at this card, he's 5'9". He has the high work rates. He's right-footed with a 4-star combination. I played 5 games in rivals with him once again, and I got 2 goals and 0 assists. Now let's look at this card, all right? So when you look at this card, what stands out? I mean, pretty much there's nothing that specifically stands out. I mean, he has really good pace, really decent shooting, really decent passing. Dribbling looks okay. I mean, 79 agility on a midfielder. Could be a little bit higher, I guess. Defending wise, he does look like he'll be able to put in a shift. So if you do need an attacking CDM or maybe a more defensive CM, he might have you covered here. His physical stats do look very nice. 84 strength, 78 aggression is going to be very decent. And from what I remember with past games playing with Seedorf, he is going to have a big, like stocky body type, even though he's not the tallest. So I do think physically he will be a bit of a beast. So without further ado, we're going to jump into the gameplay, and I'm going to transfer you over to our review specialist in the studios, One Star Weak Foot. Take it away. Thanks, One Star. So as you guys know, we have two icons to review today, and they're both gonna come in at the price of 10 icon swaps. Very exciting stuff here, guys. Are they gonna be worth it? I would say both of them are decent values. I do think Koeman is a better value because I do prefer what he's bringing to your side in the game. However, we're gonna break down stat by stat on each player, so you know exactly what to expect at home. So first, we're gonna start off with Ronald Koeman, all right? So we're gonna break down the pace. How does he feel in game? And I think his pace is pretty decent, all right? And what I really think helped with this card was adding an engine chem style to him, all right? Because I tried him a couple games at CDM. I tried him a couple games at center back, and he was brilliant, honestly, in both positions, in both formations, and his pace was really noticeably better with the engine chem style. And that's probably because the engine does add to the agility, the balance, everything like that. So pace-wise, I gotta give him an 8 out of 10. He's definitely quick enough to play CDM or center back and feel very quick in game. Next, we're gonna talk about shooting, all right? And the two things that really stand out about this shooting stat here is the 80 finishing and the 97 shot power, and together they do make a very lethal combination. As you guys saw, I did score 1 goal, and that goal was taken so beautifully, and the goalkeeper just had no chance. I think it's just a manifestation of those two stats coming in together. He does have 95 penalties, so if you do need a penalty kick taker, that's an added bonus. His 75 attack positioning was definitely noticeable in game because I did have him on balance in the 4-2-3-1 when he was playing CDM. And between him and Seedorf, I did notice Seedorf was getting into position way more often than Koeman was, so definitely keep that in mind. Overall, I gotta give this guy's shooting an 8 out of 10. It's very solid. Next, we're gonna talk about this guy's passing, and that really is one of his best aspects, all right? Look at his passing stats. He has 95 long passing, 85 short passing. Those two things are unheard of from a center back. Even for a center defensive mid, this guy is a true playmaker of the ball, and between him and Seedorf, once again, I would have to give him the edge as far as that. His vision is 78, which is not the highest, but I didn't really notice it being too much of an issue in game. This guy is an absolute gem of a passer, and overall, I gotta give this guy's passing a 9.5 out of 10. It's near perfect, and as far as center back goes, if you want a playmaking center back, this is probably gonna be your guy. Next, we're going to talk about dribbling, all right? Because the dribbling stat is like maybe the make or break stat here if you want to play him at the CDM position or any kind of midfield position and in game. Like I said, I did have to apply an engine chem style to him because the first game I played with him, he was using an anchor chem style, which is what he came with when I bought him. And he was decent on the ball, but I did notice him being a bit sloppy as far as like turning, a bit stiff even when it came to switching directions and everything like that. And when I threw the engine chem style on him, it was like a night and day difference. This guy actually felt like a midfielder on the ball. He was actually able to carry the ball forward, and he was actually able to turn very responsibly, which is something I wasn't quite expecting out of this card. Even with the engine chem style though, keep in mind his dribbling stats gonna go from 77 to 85, so he's not gonna be an amazing player on the ball, but he is gonna be able to hold his own. I wouldn't use him to really zigzag your way through tight areas because he's not going to be able to do that. However, in the midfield position, if you need somebody to relieve some pressure, he will be able to provide that for you. Overall, with the engine chem style, I would give his dribbling an 8 out of 10. It's pretty solid. Next, we're going to talk about his defending, and I think obviously this is going to be a standout stat. And he did well defensively, both in the center back and the center defensive mid position. The one thing that really stood out with him was his positioning and his interceptions. He was able to break up play with the best of them. He was able to last-ditch tackle with the best of them. And this guy made such a brilliant impact defensively, no matter which position I played him in. If you've ever used Carlos Alberto on this game, defensively, this guy feels almost as good as him, all right? The only thing that he's missing in comparison to somebody like Carlos Alberto is just the extra pace that Alberto provides. But defensively, as far as going into a challenge, as far as being reliable at the back, this guy is just as good as him. Overall, I gotta give his defending a 9 out of 10. He's a brilliant defender. Finally, we will be talking about his physical because as a center back, I mean, you might be looking at these stats in conjunction with his 5'11" height and be thinking to yourself, is he going to be good enough? And I think in this game, in the current meta, he is good enough physically to hold his own. I do prefer the more agile center backs like Koeman over the big brutish center back, so keep that in mind when I am reviewing him. But I do think his strength, his aggression, everything like that is good enough to play this position. As a CDM, he is a bit of a bully because he is a brute force when you put him in the midfield. And overall, I do think his physical is going to be an 8 out of 10. It's pretty good, not elite, but it's good enough to get the job done. Overall, what would I rate this card? I think Koeman needs to be played as a midfielder. I think you're wasting some of his best attributes if you play him at the center back position. But that being said, if you do need a center back, you don't have that many coins, you don't have that many icon swaps to use, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea to play him at center back because he will do a great job for you there. I just do think that he's a bit wasted as a center back. So as a midfielder, I would give him a 9 out of 10 if you're playing him as a CDM. As a center back, I would give him an 8.75 out of 10. Both positions he'll do very well for you, and I do think because of his versatility, because of his good links, I do think he is a great value at 10 icon swaps, and I would suggest you doing them if you need somebody of his profile. Next, we're going to talk about this 85 Seedorf card, and there are some good things and bad things about this card, all right? Let's start with his pace. 83 pace is bloody brilliant in game. he is able to track up and down the pitch, and it really helps him as far as his positioning goes, because his defensive awareness at 67 is not the best. I did play him at the CDM position, but the fact that he did have the pace allowed him to track back when he was out of position. And when you think about it, offensively, he was able to really get into dangerous positions into box, like really quickly. He was able to dart in the box. His late runs were very nice, and overall, I gotta give his pace an 8.5 out of 10. It was a really a good thing about him. Shooting wise, we have to talk about a few things, all right? Number one, I've touched on it multiple times already today. His attack positioning was very nice. His late runs into the box were a game changer. His shot power at 90 was definitely noticeable. What let him down to me was his finishing. 77 finishing, maybe I guess if you do want him to score more, you might have to throw some kind of chem style on him. But finishing wise, I did find him a bit inconsistent in front of the box. He was able to get into the position, and then he was able to get the shot off, but then he would miss a lot of shots. But just him being in the box would create a lot of opportunities for other people, so I don't hold it against him, especially since he's not an offensive player per se. Overall, I gotta give his shooting a 7.5 out of 10. Next, we're gonna talk about his passing and dribbling. And here's why I'm conflicted, right? His passing is very good. He is a great passer of the ball. He has a very reliable pass to him, but he's not the kind of player that's gonna be playing the defense splitting through balls like somebody like Koeman might be able to do. So his passing is really good, not amazing. His dribbling is what perplexed me, because he's 79 agility, 84 balance. How tall is he? He's 5'9", and you would think he's gonna feel decent on the ball. However, one thing I remember with the Seedorf card, I did try his prime icon moments last year, and he has a stocky body type even though he's kind of shortish. So when it comes to turning him with that 79 agility, he does have the same body type this year. He is a bit stiff to turn, and it's a bit confusing at first, but then you realize all these things and put them together and you realize why he's a bit clunky. He is a bit stocky. As far as his actual dribbling and ball control goes, it's actually very solid. He's able to stop on the dime. He's able to control the ball in tight areas. However, his lack of responsiveness as far as turning is definitely something that you do have to mark as a con of his. Overall, I gotta give his dribbling an 8 out of 10. It's very good, but not quite as good as I'd expect. Finally, we will be talking about his defending and physical. How were they in game? And I think defensively, this guy was decent at breaking the play. I mean, he does have 75 interceptions. His defensive awareness was so-so. I mean, he has the high work rates, he has the pace, so he will be generally in decent positions. His stand tackle was solid, but what I did notice in comparison to Koeman, obviously his stand tackle was much worse. He does have a bit of a sloppy tackle to him, all right? And if you do get him into a good angle as far as tackling the ball, he'll get it. But he's not going to be the kind of person that's going to be winning you challenges that he shouldn't win. And that's really just a mark of his sloppy tackling. He does make up for it in some senses with his strength and aggression, because he is, like I said, a very stocky body type in game. He has 84 strength, 78 aggression. So he does kind of make up for his sloppy tackling with that physical. It allows him to win things that he shouldn't win. His stamina at 86 is decent. However, he will need a sub if you go into extra time, most likely. His jumping at 76 at 5'9" is just average. So overall, I give his defending a 7 out of 10. His physical, an 8 out of 10. Alright guys, so what would I say about this card? I think if you play a formation with 3 CMs, I think he may be worth the 10 prime icon swaps, because he does bring a lot of good things to your team. He's a very well-rounded card. His attack positioning, pace, and physical I really do enjoy. His passing is also very solid. However, the main problem I have with the Seedorf card is that it's not very versatile, alright? Because if you play him as an attacking CDM, he is decent, he will do the job, but he's not truly a value as far as icon swap picks goes. However, if you play him at the center mid position, I do expect him to be one of the better center mids you have tried on this game. But the main problem I have with this card here is that there are a lot of cards on this game already that you can get for a much cheaper price that provide what he does or even better. Somebody like the 86 Nangolan, somebody like the 87 Allen. There's a lot of cards on this game that fit his profile, that do either a better job than him or specialize better than him, and he just falls for the same thing as a lot of midfielders on this game. He's a jack of all trades, master of none, and something that makes him, in my opinion, a worse value than Koeman. Alright guys, so that's going to be my Koeman and Seedorf review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it at home. Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, later.